Anyway, hey, here we are again, our Sunday chat. Ricardo, Jose, hello, how you doing out there? Christopher Calhoun from Houston, Texas. Hi, I'm Archie Bell from Houston, Texas. We dance as good as we sing. You know, there was no Archie Bell in the Drells. You know that, right? Okay. Hello from Kaloa, BC. Glad to be able to make instead of listening tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Kim. Tupelo, Mississippi was a 3rd of June, but don't even dusty down today. All right, so my teacher, a long, long time ago, said he was the guy that did this on the Bobby Gentry record of Billy Joe McGill, whatever that song is called. And he also borrowed my friend's bass to do it. So I don't know. I always wanted to check that out. John Williamson, David Roberts, hello from Northern Austria. And Wes Severson. Oh, shoot. Where is your mic? Thank you, God. Thank you, Wes. Freaking idiot. What's the matter with me? God. Just kidding. You know, I'm trying to hear. I got all these buttons, man. This is like the space shuttle here. You should see it. Yeah. Anyway, I got all these little buttons. I can go like this and go like this, and then I can play tracks. It's pretty cool. Wes helped me set it all up. Anyway, here we are. All right, so this has got to be much better since the mic is working now. And did the tracks and everything sound okay? I hope so. Oh, here's my notes. Hello. Glad to be with you. That's all I got. Let's see. You know, I don't know how your week was. It was a weird week. I've been trying to get stuff together on this website. And played a gig yesterday. Okay, so I don't know if we've ever talked about this. You know that there's a magic formula for when you prime a tip jar. You know, when you set out just a tip jar, you can't just set out a tip jar. You have to prime it, just like priming a pump on a well. Now, most people put a couple bucks in there. And I used to do that for years. Then I saw this television show. And they said, people in a tip jar respond to what's in it before. Now, so I found a magic number. The magic number is $17. 2 ones, a 5, and a 10. You put those in there. All right, why a 10? Well, some people are grateful that they'll do that, and they'll say, well, somebody put in a 10, I'll put in a 20. A 5, everybody's got a 5. 5, yeah, that's great, 5. And then ones, some guys think, oh, I'm not gonna put in ones, that's cheesy, but I'd like to tip them anyway. So 17 is the magic number. Just did a little 3-hour gig, $77 in tips, which isn't too bad for three hours. And it was not very many people there. And that's the other thing. Your tip jar has to be visible. And if it's dark, you have to light it up. I have another friend. He's got a tip jar. It's plastic with it's a lid, you know, like to put flour in your kitchen. And so when he takes that lid up, there's a big white circle, and it's like, it stands out. And then if there's lights, it's like, wow. Anyway, the philosophy of the tip jar. Okay, well, this guitar is a beautiful guitar, and I wanted to play this because I've shown it before. This is an L5, a 2002. I made a video on it, and this guitar, I think, was made for the NAMM show, is the way that I'm thinking about it. And I'll tell you why I'm laughing. It was made at the NAMM show, for the NAMM show, I believe. There's one other natural one that's this ornate, and then I've seen I've heard tales of a white one. So it's got a lot of scrolls in there. It's like a parade saddle. Isn't that beautiful, though? My wife will not let me take this out of the house. Check the back. Quilted maple. And I don't blame her. That's all you want to do is knock this over. I'm afraid just to be in here with it and bump into something. Anyway, that's this guitar. Okay, let's see, where are we at now? What would be your best scale for improvising over Georgia on My Mind? So much for the mic. In answer to your question, there's no good scale for any of it. Every time you have a chord, the scale changes. So over an A7, you're in a new key. As soon as A dominant hits, if you're in the key of F, A7 hits, you're in a new key. Now you're in the key of D harmonic minor, or E minor 7 flat 5 if you're playing it that way, F, you're in the key of F, right? The key of F means all the scales that work for the key of F. It could be A blues, D minor blues, F major, throw in some F blues. But as soon as E minor 7 flat 5 hits, A7, game over, you're in a new key. Okay, so with every chord change, you have to change. By the way, I have a lesson on Georgia, and we talk about improv on that, and I think I even have an improv. It's on the chord melody version of that. There's a little improv solo written out. So pick that up, and I think that'll help you a lot. Oh, no, you guys are having another hurricane? Where are you at in Houston? Is Houston like built below sea level, something like that? I've heard something about that. Oh, I see this. Okay, this is Scalos 1, and I know you've commented all the time. And what is your real? You got to have a real name, don't you? Anyway, going beyond the C chord melody, a challenge. Some of the chords in the tab are impossible to reach. Yeah, I would say, okay. You learned the Georgia things. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you, first, last. Sometimes, I don't know. I'm in a very lucky position because you can help people at times, I hope, and well, actually, everybody living and breathing is in a position to help and to inspire. I don't care if you're the postman working the counter. Absolutely, you can do that. Anything. Andre. Okay, Andre. Thank you. Okay, Andre, I see you commenting on a lot of things, and I really appreciate that. There was something I wanted to talk about. Now I forget what it was, but Georgia. Did you know? I have an interview with Brad Rebution talking about Georgia, talking about playing with Ray Charles, and it's on our website. And Ray Charles did it in key of G, by the way. And that's one song he will absolutely always do at his performance. Well, he used to, anyways. He'd skip a lot of other songs, but he would never skip Georgia. That song was very good to him. Oh, Brad, of course, I recognize your name. Private teacher at GIT. Followed me since then. Well, that's real nice, Brad. I hope I didn't discourage you too much. I tell you, that was fun times at GIT. It was such a lucky deal for me to get into that gig. It was weird. Because I asked Tommy Tedesco, if, hey, Tommy, can how do I get to be a teacher at GIT? He said, get in line. Okay, well, thanks. Thanks, Tommy. But I had some real dear friends, and they were playing a gig, and I went to sit in with them, and Paul Farnham was the bass and head of the bass department at GIT, and obviously BIT then, and he was the bass player in the band. So we're playing, and they asked me to sit in, and actually I just got an L5, and I was playing it, and I love that guitar, and you could just fly on the thing. So he really liked my playing, and he said they're looking for a guitar player in the guitar department. And the thing is, they've been hiring students, and when you hire students, you get the same stuff regurgitated over and over by teachers. He says they're looking for somebody different who didn't go through the system. It's kind of like you start teaching the same way. And so I told them, I had my books and stuff, and so I got hired. Keith Wyatt hired me. And it was really cool. And then when Tommy found out, how'd you get here? It's funny. Let's see. Eastern Maryland, Brad. Any thoughts on modern jazz fusion guitars, such as the Strat? No thoughts at all on that. It's really out of my wheelhouse. I have no idea what to tell you. Jim from Portland. All right, Jim Presley. Sweet. I said, see. I guess you're not related, huh? Okay. Did we have Tupelo, Mississippi? No, was that Tupelo? That's where Elvis was born, right? All right, so let's see. Let's play something. That was a very, very bad version of Jiffy Jam by Jerry Reed. I was practicing it earlier on a nylon string, and I thought, well, you can just make the transfer. Well, can you really? Okay. Let's see. Worship leader is playing a lot of octaves this morning. Any tips? I believe you have video. Yeah, I have a lot of videos on playing octaves. Absolutely. You know, you play like this, and this string is muted. All the strings are muted except for what you got fingered. And the hardest thing is going across strings. So you practice this. And then you practice playing a melody. Or you practice scales. And then you practice arpeggios. And then after you do all that, you learn some tunes in octaves. You know, some Wes Montgomery tunes, the Road Song. That's a nice one to start to do. Okay, so yeah, that's I guess how you do it. You know, Brad, you're right. I had a red '64 Falcon convertible. It was really cool little car, and it was a 6-cylinder, so it was a bare bones kind of car. I drove it from Thousand Oaks down to LA all the time. And that was a fun little car. And I just saw one yesterday in Paso Robles. And I thought, wow, that is a bitchin' ass car. Yes, it would be way too ambitious to do a chord melody of Donna Lee. It's like, why? You do it. I don't want to do it. You do it. That's hard, man. Recommend a tune for instead of Oleo and Cottontail. I think if you just type in, you know, heads over rhythm changes. I have one. You know, it's called. What is it called? Jeez, I forget. God. Yeah, you'll find them. You'll find some of those heads. The main thing is, you know, who cares about the head? Play the head and then just solo. But, you know, I take that back. There's another thing. There's a lot of guys would do things like, you know, the tune, I Love Being Here With You. I love the East, I love the West, the North and South, I'm still the best. I'm only gonna go there as a guest because I love being here with you. All right, you know that one? So after the it's got a rhythm bridge, right? But after you play the head, then just go straight into rhythm changes. And the same is True with a tune called I Hear Music. I hear music. Music. Da 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 workman tone. Let's see. I forget where the melody is. But that's another one you could do. Yes, this is a spanky guitar. Thoughts on the new D'Angelicos? Gosh, they sure look pretty, but especially in the low line, I haven't heard one that sounded very good. I was at a camp or a guitar show, and I met this fella. He had two beautiful guitars. He had an L5, and he had a Birdland, and he used to work for Fender, and he had these Gibsons, and he loved jazz guitars. But he bought a D'Angelico with a floating pickup, and he installed humbuckers on it. And he showed me what the top was made out of, and it was weird, man. It looked like cardboard. It was weird. So this was many, many years ago. So I don't know if they're still doing it. The low line guitars, I wouldn't bother with them. But the upper end guitars, I'm sure they're wonderful. They sure are pretty. They're a pretty guitar. Okay, yes. I can't wait for camp this year, too. And Brad, it's going to be your first year. That's great. We have guys come all the time. Greg Hartland, who's usually at this chat, comes a lot. And it's fun. It's really, really fun. And you learn a lot. People say it's like drinking from a fire hose. Got a little like Louis Armstrong voice. Greg Hartline is here. Hi, Greg. Glad you could make it. Did you bring the martinis? Okay, let's see. How about, I always thought I should get a puppet or something, to spice it up. How about the tune Beautiful Love? You like that tune? Let me play it for you. It goes like this. I'm not a jukebox. So I heard it said that that's Joe Pass's favorite song, and it was played at his funeral. I don't know if that's true. I'm going to play it right now if I can find it. Go. Ah. And I forgot the ending. Ta-da! That is a fun song to play over. Love that tune. So I got some lessons on that one. Okay, let's see. I'm looking at sheet music. No, I'm looking at a set list, but I'm not using it. How much was your L5? Oh, Grayson. Grayson is from campus here. Hi, Grayson. Sweet. Tonight it's beer with Rich. Bingo. How much was this? I can't tell you. Otherwise, I'd have to kill you. Let me say this. It's a lot. But it's probably in the neighborhood of about 17,000 now, I think. Played Tear It Down. When playing during the end. Oh, let's see. Very pretty tune. Oh, the intro was Pen Up House. Pen Up House. That's a good, and I have a lesson on that. I'm retired now, but play next level, working with Doug McDonald with using material. Do you know Doug? No, I don't. I think you're right about organizing your time as far as practicing. You know what? If you can get to your guitar in small increments of time every day, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes there, and all of a sudden you got an hour. A lot of times when you sit there and study for 2 or 3 hours or whatever, your mind is in another world, you know what I mean? And Howard Roberts always talked about this in his GIT curriculum, that the longer you sit there, the less you retain. Also, he also talked about somebody will learn something in the given time allotted to them. So, and this is what I talk about the band camp guys. Does it really matter if you have the songs to study 6 months in advance or 3 months or a year? Really? Are you going to study for a year on this? And the results are kind of always the same. You know, some guys really get it and some guys don't. So, yeah, keeping your time organized is very, very. You know, I used to be real hell bent on different practice sessions, on doing, like 10 minutes of scales, 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of that. Just have your hands on the guitar, play. I like to play in the morning, not do any study. I'm at an advantage because I do this for a living. So actually writing out lessons and things like that help me explore new ideas, and then I'm able to do them on the guitar. But actually, I still playing the same old stuff I played 20, 40 years ago. I don't talk down yourself. Okay, Rich, I won't. All right, so. Makes it hard to practice. No, I have a puppy. I have a lot of free time, but I can't sit down with a guitar in my hands for an hour. I start feeling sick. Don't do it if it makes you sick. Yes, this is an L5. And, the L5 is the standard. But, this design has been around. When did they come up with design? It's a long, long time ago. The body on an L5 is huge, man. And I don't think it's the greatest. They're great guitars. Don't get me wrong. I've heard it's a guitar that works well in a controlled environment. If you're on a stage with monitors and stuff, and there's a lot of sound, you don't hear the nuance of the guitar, and therefore, actually, the guitar can sound real crappy. If you look at those Wes Montgomery records or videos, he's sitting right next to his amp. They're playing at a very low level, right? Very low. So it's a controlled environment. And this guitar sounds real pretty. If you don't have a controlled environment, sometimes a guitar a little thinner, that depends more on the pickups, because let's face it, it's an electric guitar, is sometimes a better choice. Where are we at here? Oh, thanks, Brad. You're my favorite student. Let's see. What makes a good student or a real good teacher? What makes a good teacher? A good student, right? You can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink. And a good teacher is only as good as their student. You did a lot of work with Jack Sheldon in the studio recording with Oscar Peterson. Were you an engineer or playing guitar? Or what were you doing there? Wow, that's cool. Well, I bet you got some wonderful stories to tell. Well, wait a minute. You talking about Jack Sheldon, the guitar player? You mean the trumpet player? If I only had one guitar, what would I choose? I would like, right now, if I only had one jazz guitar, I would choose Eagle Heritage. Yes, I get up early in the morning and play. Try to get up at, at least 6. Get up and play for an hour. If I wait until the day starts, forget it. And I'm self-employed. I'm at home all day, but all this other stuff gets in the way. How do I like Ibanez, dude? Ibanez, dude. Uh, I don't know. Which one? I mean, they make 10 million of them. Ibanez, wonderful company. Those older Ibanez's, try those Ibanez copies. They're really expensive now. They're like $4,000. It's like, what? Jeez. Okay. Guild X 170 is wonderful guitar. Jason, Grayson, do you still have yours? That's right. Grayson bought a Ibanez 2460, and that's a sweet guitar, isn't it? Okay. Paul Getty. What's happening, Paul? Have you tuned Mozart's piano lately? Just curious. San Francisco. Paul Patrick Montgomery, Eastman L5 equivalent. There isn't really one. I think a 910, something like that. But I don't, Eastman's tops are so much thinner. There isn't really an equivalent because their tops, by the way, they sound fantastic, but they feed back. So you got to get a smaller body because the tops are thinner. San Francisco, my son, Wes Severson, produces the 7 o'clock news on CBS for San Francisco. So start watching that show. If you could buy a Guild Artist Award, I would be in heaven. Well, Tim Patchen had one at the camp. My picks are rigid. This particular pick, it's called a Flex. Let me see if I got one that you can see the writing on it. Tortex Flex, and I think it's 0.8 mil. I like those. You can't hear the pick sound with them. My Yamaha nylon, that's this. It's a 500N, and that's a nice guitar. It's 24-inch scale. I should get it, but we're playing this now. Okay. Hey, you know what? I wanted to play a song. As you know, I wanted to play a song that I wrote a song when Chuck Berry died. And some of you guys said it would be okay if I played a song. So I'm going to play this one because it's sung by an old friend of mine. And but the song is kind of about Chuck Berry. Well, it's about Chuck Berry. It's a tribute to Chuck Berry. But I never got, when he passed away, I right away did the tracks. And that was a long time ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. And I want you guys to hear it. So if you don't mind, you can indulge me. And if you do mind, well, go get a drink of water. Is that distorted?
The boy grew up listening to big band jazz. Then he heard a sound he just had to have. He took a rhythm riff, played on 88 keys, and set it on a guitar and played it mean. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. He sang about Beethoven and Johnny B. Good. Sweet little 16, the motor under his hood. School days in Memphis were topping the charts. No one could stop what he had to start. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. Thank you, Mr. Barry. Thank you, Mr. Barry. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll.
I think I'm just
Thank you, Mr. Barry. Thank you, Mr. Barry. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll.
I don't know what to do.
St. Louis to Frisco, Philadelphia, PA. Our rock and roll poet had plenty to say. Bandstand boogie had us glued to the tube. We're watching Philly kids making all their moves. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. Thank you, Mr. Barry. I said thank you, Mr. Barry. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. The gates of heaven opened up to welcome him in. There stood every legend that had ever been. Elvis and Jimmy were first to his side with a golden six string for the ends of time. Now heaven will never ever be the same, but all the angels rocking, they're chanting his name. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. Thank you, Mr. Barry. I said thank you, Mr. Barry. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. I said thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. Thank you, Mr. Barry, for giving us that rock and roll. And you too, Mr. Lidley.
Well, what do you think? Is it a hit or a miss? I'll give it an 86. Had a good beat, easy to dance to. Want a milkshake and a burger. I get that. Bo Diddley, yes, Bo Diddley. You know, it's funny. When I remember as a kid, do you remember the Tammy Show? It played in theaters, you know. They were talking about, man, what, 66, 60, something like that. And it played in the movie theater. And, you know, they had the Byrds, the Stones, Jerry and the Pacemakers, I think Chuck Berry, all these people. And then Bo Diddley. And Bo Diddley, I look at Bo Diddley and think, what? I don't get it. You know, it wouldn't. I mean, and then I end up playing with him. I play with him a lot. And that was funny. But anyway, be careful what you think you like and what you don't like, because you might end up doing it. Okay, so Chuck Berry into Bo Diddley. Yeah, man. Bo Diddley didn't get the recognition. I have a C 45 and on a chess record 45. On one side it says that it's the Chuck Berry beat, and on the other side it's the Bo Diddley beat. And I was really unhappy that in the movie Chess Records or Cadillac Records, He wasn't even mentioned. Yeah, I did work with the Dick Clark Band. Yes, Bo played the cigar box guitar. And every night he'd break a string. Every night he'd break a string. I think it was part of his act. And I said, "Hey, Bo, let me take a look at, you got to have a burr on that tailpiece or something that's breaking those strings all the time." I said, "No, I ain't got no burr." I said, "Well, they make these nylon ones you can put in there. Maybe that you wouldn't." He said, "No, no, man, I melt those. I melt them." He's the one with, "Hey, there ain't no money past the fifth fret." Hey, anyway, fun. No, that was not a drum machine. That was a real guy. But it's kind of funny. That's a. By the way, you know what I do as part of a practice thing, and I got to do it more often, is take a hard chord and play it around the cycle of force. You do that, and now you've done it 12 times, right? So, wow, that you can feel it. Okay, where are we at here? A string muter? I don't know what that is. Pick and Stone, he liked it. Thank you. Do you ever perform compilations of rock guitar greats like Mach? No, I don't. Okay, that's most of the comments there. Let's see, where are we at now? Station identification break. I just thought I'd throw that in there. I recall your videos that you taught with Ted Green. Did you ever perform with Ted? No, I never did. I played with him at the music store. We played together, and at a couple parties we did. Oh, thank you. I did have a good a good country book. I thought it was really good at the time. As a matter of fact, one of the nicest compliments, talking about GIT, is when the first day I walked into the lunchroom, Steve Travato says, "Hey, Rich Severson, wow, hey, check this out." What? I forget the line, but anyway, he played a bunch of stuff from my book. I thought, wow, how sweet. What a nice guy. And Steve Travato doing it. Holy crap. Okay, the string dampener that was up here that dampened the strings. Also, somebody else talked about putting a soft sponge here. Real soft sponge. You could do it. Actually, if you're feeding back so much, you're probably playing too loud, or you've got the wrong amplifier, or you're sitting too close to it. Or you don't have it dialed in. If you have a Fender amp, okay, when you turn it on, you turn it on and you put the tone controls at 2 and go from there. Okay, it's not like plugging in your Strat and you put everything on 8 and go for it, you know. The problem with those country licks is my hand, I can't handle them. They're too hard. So I've lost hand strength, and so I just can't do it. And I really don't have too much of an opportunity to play that stuff. So there's so many guys that can do it so well. You just, at some point, you got to just kind of stick with what you think you really want to do and do it and try to do it the best you can. Fairly new AR 503 with 12 gauge strings was set up like that. I like to go down to 11s. Well, you know, my philosophy is you take a set of Diodario Chrome Brights 10s. So it's got a 48, 38, 28, 20, and then throw away the 10 and the 14 and put on a 13 and a 15. I love that setup, and it works well for me. And it's heavy top, skinny bottom. Anyway. A little station break, a sanity break. So I had one thing. Guys, ever seen the Buddy Holly story? And that's a great movie. Although I got to tell you, I did one of these gigs, like the PBS special with all the old the 50s guys, right? Like the Ronettes and The Diamonds, the guys that do Lion Sleeps the Night. Who else was on that? Anyway, lead singer of the Diamonds, or the Vogues were on there or something. And Kathy Young, Thousand Stars in the Sky. Okay, so I got to talking with the lead singer of the Diamonds, and he was saying, he was on a bus with Buddy Holly, and when they were just starting out, and Buddy had a portable record player and a battery-operated record player, and he was just fun, and he would be playing records. Well, we all know what happened to Buddy Holly. Well, this guy, his neighbor, wrote a screenplay for the movie. And the studio ended up changing things so much. The guy ended up committing suicide right 2 days before the thing was released. Did I already tell that story? I don't know. I'm always doing stuff like that, telling the wrong story. Hi, Chase. Welcome to... Okay, let's see. Where are we at here? Hey, Rich, who will be the instructors for the jazz workshop in June? Well, Mike Dana for sure. Todd Johnson, absolutely. I think we're going to have, I don't know yet. Those two guys for sure. We were going to have, God, now I forget. I don't know who we're going to have, but it'll be somebody of quality. And I think the thing's going to be sold out. So I think we're going to need almost two instructors. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Bingo. Yeah. Two instructors, because we're going to take over the whole camp. It'll be fun. Because we missed it this year. I think people are going to be raring to go. And so I'm not sure on who's going to be going where. Okay, what do you want? What else now? Are we? Why am I balanced? I have 12 13ths with a 14 on top. Sounds heavy, but it isn't. If you set it up right, that's correct. If you set it up with the action low, it's great. I mean, oh, you learned a lot of those country licks. Well, that's fantastic. There's a couple of licks in there that I always liked. Something like that. Ta-da! I'd have to work a little harder to work those up. Looking forward to camp. Me too. Well, you know what, you guys, I want to thank you for coming here. I don't know any good jokes. Which
Full of them.
Full of them?
I'd close them out with
The good.
dog.
Close them out with Doobie Duh. You know, a friend of mine was walking down the street the other day, and he came across an accident. And the officer is flagging him on, come on, hurry up, get out of the way. And And the guy says, you know what? I recognize that car. I think a friend of mine owns that car. The officer said, really? Maybe you could help identify the body. Well, okay. So goes over and he looks in the car and my God, there's a body but no head. And he says, well, where's his head? And he says, this is a really bad accident, man. It's over here in the gutter under the sheet. And so he goes over, they take the sheet off, and the guy picks up the guy's head. And he's staring at it. He's looking at it. And the cop says, well, is that your friend? And he says, man, it sure looks like him, but I don't remember him being this tall. I'm sorry, that's funny. I don't care who you are. All right. Well, anyway, I want to thank you guys again for coming. Yes, I have a arrangement of what are you doing the rest of your life? Okay, well, let's end with a bossa nova. Let's play it out with a nice, wonderful little bossa nova, shall we? I think we should. Did you guys mind if I played that tune? I wanted to see, because I don't want to get too far off the track of what we're doing. Summer Samba is just a beautiful song. I love it. Here we go. Okay, everybody, thanks a lot for joining me, and we'll see you next Sunday. I'll talk to you later. Adios.